Hello, how are you? Welcome to my channel. My name is Ruth and today I am doing my April speed reviews. I started doing these back in January and I've really enjoyed doing them, and it's helped me focus on some newer products in my collection and kind of really form proper thoughts about them. So yeah, today's one is actually focused on a specific brand or company, and it is She Glam. So it's a subsidiary kind of Shein or Shein, however you want to pronounce it. And I had picked up some clothes from them which I've really enjoyed. The clothes have been fantastic for me. As a plus size person, it's hard to get affordable plus size clothes that actually fit. And Steph Lyons, actually, if I hadn't watched her videos on it, I wouldn't have tried them, I don't think. But anyway, when I was ordering clothes, I decided to order some makeup bits as well. And I just want to show you what I got and go through them with you and let you know if they're worth the hassle of getting or not, basically. So I have my little notebook, because I do make notes. So what have we got first? So the first item I'm going to show you is the She Glam Colour Bloom Liquid Blush. The shade I have is Rose Ritual. They cost €4, guys, which is really inexpensive. There is only 5.2 mils or 0.17 fluid ounces in it, so not an awful lot. And I do believe She Glam is cruelty free, you know, from what I could find out. The packaging on it is quite solid, and it has a little sponge on it, a curious little sponge. Looks like, if you remember those Lancome Juicy, not Juicy, do you remember their lip glosses and stuff like that they used to have in this kind of packaging? But it works well, and it has a little kind of a well in the middle, so the product isn't completely soaking it all the time. But yeah, I so far so good. I like the packaging. Now, as I use down more, I don't know, excuse me, how it will go, but so far so good. There's a very slight scent to it, kind of a vanilla kind of sweet scent, which is, I don't mind it, it's quite pleasant to me. And the shade then is just a lovely peachy kind of tone to it, kind of peachy rose is what I said. And what I've said about this, so application, I have put, so I've used it a few times, I have it on today as well, so 3 to 4 dots on the cheek. You don't need much because it is quite pigmented, so I just literally put a couple of dots here and I do one side at a time, and I blended it out with a brush and then I tapped it out with a sponge if I felt I had gone a bit too kind of intense, and it taps out very easily without tapping away completely. My thoughts on it, I said it's very pigmented and pretty shade, a couple of dots on the cheeks and blends out beautifully with a foundation brush. I went a tad overboard but just used foundation brush that I'd used for actual foundation around the edges, and it brought it back down very easily. And I thought that my cheeks looked very glowy and juicy and healthy, and just I really like this. I think Misty has one of these as well, and I think she enjoys them too. I love the packaging. I mean, it's a really solid packaging. It's a cute kind of millennium pink kind of, and yeah, this is, I mean, for what did I say, €4. I just don't see how you can go wrong with it, really. So if I was placing, I don't know what I specifically place an order just for the makeup. I think if I was placing a close order, I would throw in some makeup items, and I would consider getting another one of these in a different shade. Now, I do have a lot of cream blushes at the moment. I really don't need to be adding to it. But it is lovely. It is lovely, and for €4. Next up, I picked up the bronzer. So the bronzer that I have is this one here, and it is in the shade Golden Sun, and again, same packaging as the blush, same kind of scent to it, same price, €4, and same applicator on it. There it is there, and the scent is more or less the same as well. And this one is a bit more of a cool toned, not too cool toned though, but it's a lovely shade, really pretty shade. And again, just same kind of format, couple of dots on, blend it out, off you go. I did say with a stipple brush it can get a little bit muddy looking, so I do think it does better. So what I mean by stipple brush, just in case, excuse the noise, so that would be the stipple brush, and I feel that that can make it look a bit muddy. It definitely does better with like a foundation brush, a flat topped kabuki kind of brush, or a sponge. I do like to go over it with the brush first though, just to blend it into where I want it, and if it's too much then I go over it with the sponge. I find with any liquid product that if you use a sponge it's going to soak some of it up, so you might lose a little bit of the intensity, but if that's what you want then perfect. But I don't think it's too much, you know what I mean? I don't think, like, I think it just gives a nice bit of warmth to the face and a little bit of sculpting. I said it's a great shade on me. I use it as a bronzer. It gets a bit muddy looking as the day goes on. So you have to keep an eye on it. I wonder, I'll notice now today, but I'm sure any liquid product, if your skin isn't properly hydrated, your skin is going to drink it in. So any kind of liquid product is going to maybe turn a little bit patchy looking. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's my understanding, is that if your skin is a bit dehydrated, it's going to look for moisture from wherever it can get it on your face. So it's going to seep it in from products like this. So I would suggest if you're using products like this to make sure you're well hydrated, your skin is well hydrated before using it. But I like it. I prefer the blush. I think the blush is a real winner. I do know that I prefer a cream bronzer as opposed to a liquid bronzer. Maybe that's what it is. I feel more comfortable using a cream bronzer. I seem to be just able to manage it a bit better, whereas this takes a bit more finesse than maybe I have. But still, for €4, oh my god, it's like, it's well worth even trying for that price. And look, it's not something I'll declutter. I don't think it'll be something that I'll probably pan. You know, mightn't repurchase it, but the blushes I would certainly consider repurchasing or buying another shade. The next item I got then was an eyeshadow palette. In the past, when trying brands, I went for maybe neutral palettes because I felt, oh well, that's the one I'll get the most use out of, etc. Instead of kind of thinking, but will I have fun with it? And don't I have loads of neutrals already? And I don't know, I kind of go back and forth about that, because if I want to try out a new formula, well, should I go for neutrals or should I go for something colourful? I don't know. Which is whether I opted for very colourful when I went for it. And to be honest, I was kind of, there were so many palettes on it, I could have picked so many, and the one I kind of wanted wasn't there. I think it was the seafoam one that Becca Hope. That one looks so pretty, but they didn't have that one. So I ended up opting for this one because I said, look, I like purples and stuff like that. Now, what I didn't realise from the pictures, and probably should have done a bit more investigation, is these 4 are all glitters. They're pressed glitters. And they're not great quality pressed glitters, in my opinion. When I have used them, I have noticed my eyes feeling a bit gritty. And that worries me because I have very sensitive eyes anyway, and I know glitter can damage the eye if you're not very careful. I did use glitter glue. I used glitter glue, I had patted on my finger, and I used the same finger that had a little bit of tartness left in it to pick up the glitter and put it on it. So that alone already is a kind of a con. You know, it's bad enough with the Colourpop palettes that have 1 pressed glitter in each one. 4, no good. Now, you know I love glitter. You've seen me wear it loads and you've heard me harp on about the Tati Beauty ones, but I never feel like they come off my eyes into my eyeball, if that makes sense. I've never had any issue with them feeling gritty or my eyes feeling a bit uncomfortable or anything like that. And the same goes with liquid eyeshadows. I've never had an issue with them in that respect. But these I just wasn't mad on. This one then, this shade called Guilty Pleasure, is actually like a cream to powder or super shock type thing, and it's only okay. It's a bit insipid, I suppose, is what I would say. Like, you can barely see it there, and I've really kind of tried to pile it on. I'll swatch them all for you. Not the glitters. I'm not going to swatch the glitters because they're just a nightmare to get on and off. And they go everywhere. Even with glitter glue, they still went everywhere. So you'll see they're okay. They're not terribly intense, I wouldn't say. Some of the lighter colours probably did better than the darker ones, but I think that's kind of par for the course, isn't it, for, you know, purples and that. They can be hard to formulate, I believe. Give you another. Oh, we did the pink twice. Good girl, Ruthie. Not like you're running out of space or anything. Eat it. And what did I not do with the yellow? Give you the yellow as well. I do have these on today, and they're fine. Like even that yellow, it's very, looks really intense there, but when you put that on the eye, I found it just blended away to nothing. It was hard to be impactful with it, I felt. But yeah, so what I have said about it, now again, it's quite affordable. $7.49, so maybe, is that as cheap as a Super Shock? Or not a Super Shock, a Colourpop. Excuse me while I go and retrieve an item. And I'm back. Don't roll off again, that's just rude. So again, packaging, cardboard, very similar to Colourpop, and has a kind of a magnet at to close it. Yeah, so like one or two of the, just, I didn't use all of the glitters because I just said no, it's just I'm worried about them. Like this one up here, looks kind of like a greeny blue, I suppose, there, but to the naked eye it looks more blue, but when you put it on the eye it looked very green. I said very messy, even with glitter glue it goes everywhere, don't like it. Guilty Pleasure, which is that one, that's the cream kind of one. I said this turned out to be like a Super Shock, doesn't adhere to a brush, have to use your finger to get any pigment, and even then it's practically transparent. The deep blue over here, again, not as pigmented as I expected, creases and kind of disappears like my eye ate it. Not a fan. So like in the crease it just seemed to disappear completely. Not in the crease, but like, you know, I would have brought it up a little bit. Water Orchid is that kind of lilac-y shade over there. I said, okay, pretty enough shade, but not worth keeping the palette for. Bubble Trouble, which is the pink shimmer, supposedly. Little to no pigment and very poor intensity. Topper shade, but even then, very poor. Island Fever seemed pigmented, but fades very quickly, easy to blend. That was the kind of purpley kind of shade. Or the pink shade, was it? Oh, sorry, it's the yellow. My apologies. I'm very bad at this. So yeah, the yellow, seemed pigmented but fades very quickly. Easy to blend but blends away. Swim for the Win, patchy and either blends away or doesn't blend at all. Set, so I have a set base on when I put it on. And I patted it on at first. That's the deep purple down there. Coat Tails is the pink. Okay, blended okay. Pretty shade, but not worth keeping the palette for. And Grand Finale is the orange. Good intensity, nice shade, but not very shiny. And that's what's on my eyelid at the moment. So just, you know what I'm going to do with this now is I'm going to remove the glitters because I don't think really anyone should have them. And I'm going to pass it on to my niece. She's only a tween and she's just getting into makeup, and I think her and her friends might have a little bit of fun just playing around and fooling with this. So I'll just take the glitters out and I'll give her the rest of it. Just not it. I mean, they don't look too bad there with a finger swatch, but just when you try to put them on the eyes, it's just, it's not worth it. If you have no colours in your collection, none at all, you've just all neutrals and you love a little pop of colour and you're putting in an order anyway, then yes, fine, go for it. It's not expensive. But if you already have good colours in your collection, you don't need them. You don't need this. You don't. You have better. You have better. The next item that I picked up was this brow pencil, and I had seen Make Me Up Melissa from Make Me Up Melissa raving about it. So I wanted to give it a go. Where is my notes on it? Please tell me I've made notes on it. I feel like I did. I have it on today anyway. The shade I got, I thought would be better with my current kind of hair. I'll put a swatch on this hand for you. So it has one of these kind of marker ends. if you can see. And it's not very dark, but I don't know, it seems to translate a bit darker on the eye. Now, having said that, it's not all that I have on my eyes today because, or on my brows. I lovely thin little pencil on the other side. I forgot that I was using this today for a video. And, oh no, I broke it. Silly girl. So that you tried to write with your left hand. Because God forbid it could do it. So it doesn't look very dark there, and I know my brows probably look a bit darker today, but I did end up using a different brow pencil and then use this over it. But even still, when I use it on its own, it still kind of translates a bit darker than I would have liked. What shade is this? And it's taupe, and I thought taupe would be lighter, so I don't know if I need to go a shade down. But again, I think this is €3. I'm nearly certain it's 3. Let me just double check. Wow, she's so organised. Isn't she amazing? I thought I had checked everything. €3, yeah. And lovely lightweight kind of pencil. It's not awful heavy or anything like that. Feels lovely and light. Like I said, it's darker than I thought. Dual-ended micro pencil and a marker tip is what they describe it as. Applies dark with a slight warm undertone, which I didn't think taupe would have. Very easy to use. Need to be careful not to go overboard. Great pigmentation and fills in gaps nicely. I did say I used it other days and I didn't know the warmth as much. So I don't know, was it maybe foundation in my brows maybe? And even though I usually brush them out before I put on a product, I don't know. So it's very long lasting and was still on at the end of the day. So, you know, that's all fantastic. I do like it. I really do like it. And it is something, again, that I would consider maybe getting another lighter shade. If I was placing an order for blushes or clothes or whatever, I'd stick it in. €3. It is so worth €3. To be getting the marker side and the pencil side for me is a win-win, because I'm trying to get better at using the markers. It's definitely a learning curve, but I'm getting there slowly but surely. And last but by no means least is actually one of these. So this is one of those kind of, you can store your powders and stuff in. I've actually since purchased another 3 of these. I like them that much. These are $4.75 and they're described as a one-piece clear jewellery storage box. But even on the site, they show it with makeup in it. And I just love it. I love it for this, for storing my powders in. It's just brilliant. You know, I can have them all in my drawers, set out wherever I want. You know, rotation, you know, move things forward and rotate them around. And they just sit in the drawer really nicely. And I just absolutely love them. Love them. I'm just so glad. It's the best organisational tool I feel that I've purchased, you know, since properly storing my makeup. And the little dividers can come out as well. So if you had something a bit bigger that, you know, didn't fit in the allotted kind of sections, you can take it out and put it back in as needed. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that because I just think, I just love them. What price did I say it was again? $4.75. I genuinely think they are so worth it if you have a collection like mine that's a bit excessive. So I have one for my face powders, my blush, my bronzers, my highlighters. They all have their own little one of those and it's brilliant. I love it. So handy. And fits into Alex drawers. If you have Alex drawers, fit into that lovely. But that is it for She Glam. Some wins and some misses, or some hits and some misses. But more hits, you know what I mean? The blush, the brow pencil and the container, the makeup container, phenomenal. Bronzer, it's okay. Not maybe the best in the world, but not the worst for sure. If you want to just dip your toe into liquid bronzers, it's a nice way to try it. And the palette is a miss for me. It's just a miss. It didn't do what I wanted, but you know, it'll go to someone younger who will probably get some fun out of it. So it's not a complete loss. Have you tried any makeup from She Glam? I know Misty has, but has anybody else? Is there anything else that you've bought and thought, wow, this is phenomenal, I really love this? Have you bought different colours of the blush? Have you used one to completion? Do you know, is it hard to get past the well that's inside it, you know what I mean? Do I just store it upside down, or I don't know, we shall see. But I'd love to know if you have tried stuff that have been a real hit, you know, little hidden gems. I'd love to know, because it's very affordable. Not like I need more makeup, but I'm always curious to know. That is it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If it's a thing that you maybe are watching this video and haven't subscribed, I'd love if you would. It would make my day. I'd be thrilled to bits. Hopefully I'll chat to you in the next one, guys. Take care. Bye. Slán.